All right, Mr. Lang, we're back. We are continuing on with our fun-filled project, and we are working on editing our collage. So I'm going to go to that directory, and I'm going to look for my GIMP file. There it is, and it's called my Star Wars collage. You can call it something different if you wish. And where we left off was we have our background. So let's go ahead and start adding some things to it. So here I am in my uh, collage background, and here is my file management. And one of the sprites I want to add is my X-Wing fighter. So check this out. All I need to do is click and drag and drop this onto my canvas. But whoa, wait a minute. That is pretty big. I'm going to move my video there over to that side because your toolbox for your layers may appear somewhere else. Mine goes in the bottom right hand corner. Yours may be in the upper left or upper right. Who knows? But if you don't see that, again, you want to go to your Windows, go down to your dockable dialogues and make sure your layer is visible. And there's my layers. So my first layer was my Star Wars background. I could turn that off or on. I have my second layer of my X-Wing fighter. Again, I can turn that on or off. And it starts like a cake here, you guys. We start with our foundation all the way at the bottom. That's our image background. And then this is on top of this. If I would happen to move this below this, I don't see my X-Wing fighter because it's behind my star's background image. I'd want to move that back up on top so I could see that. Another thing you may be saying, holy cow, Mr. Lang, look at the size of that thing. My sprite is too big for my canvas. Stick with me here. I'm in the bottom right hand corner. I'm going to right click and I am going to go to scale layer. And I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to do trial and error. I'm going to do 1500. I'm going to press my enter key to keep this proportional. You don't want it to look like a fun house when you stand in front of those funny mirrors and you're too tall or too wide or whatever. And well, you know what? That's looking good, but I think I want to do it some more. I can right click and choose scale layer. And maybe I want to go down to 900, press my enter key and scale it. And oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. I do have my moving tool over here selected that I can move around. And one thing that I found out was when I was doing this, I was just going in like the rectangle area and saying, okay, I want to move my X-Wing fighter. I'm on it. Oh, I'm moving my background. Control Z. You have to be on your actual X-Wing fighter or your sprite to move it. So make sure you are somewhere on one of those pixels. All right, I'm just going to move this up. I'm probably going to do some editing with that later, maybe do some rotating and stuff like that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I want to add another layer. So I'm going to go down to my file management and I'm going to add Darth Vader to it and drag and drop. And oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't mind the size of that. If you need to resize it, you can go down to your layers and right click on Darth Vader and you guessed it, scale your layer and scale your layer. If you want to go down a little bit, you can do that 750, I don't know, just down a little bit and then move that to the location that you want it to. Kind of fits nice there. All right, moving right along. I'm going to add my third sprite, my Death Star. Again, these are all JPEG, or excuse me, PNGs. We have converted them to PNGs in our editing software GIMP, so that way it would look nice on our layers. Again, we added another layer. If I want to turn that on and off, I can. Pretty cool. I'm going to do a Control S on this though and kind of save where I'm at right now. And looking at this, you know, maybe I want to rotate my X-Wing fighter. So I'm going to click on that layer to activate it. And this tool right here will allow me to rotate. All right, I'm going to double click on my X-Wing fighter then, and it brings up this rotation tool where then I can just click on my X-Wing fighter and I can rotate it. This is interesting. I moved this once and I'm like, what does that do? And as I start rotating it, it rotates it around that little crosshairs, if you will, right there. So if you want to bring that up, now it's just rotating right there. So kind of cool. So if I want to rotate my X-Wing fighter go back to the moving position and then move it where I want it to be. You can do that. So many cool things that you can do. How did I learn to do that? I had to Google it. I went to Google, how do I rotate an image in GIMP? And I found a great resource. So there's going to be some things that you're going to maybe want to do that you're going to have to do some Googling on. But kind of looking at my project so far, I clicked on my background layer so that way I could just kind of see what things look like. I like them so far. I got my sprites in there, resized some, rotated some, moved them around, looked at my layers. Again, if I ever need to adjust my layers, I can. Don't forget, if you don't see your layers, toolbox, there's my layers, and you can open it up. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to hit a Control S and save that up and finish this tutorial, and we'll start another one at the bell. Perfect timing.